Good day. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about outer space. And this is an astral place that anybody can get to. It's pretty calm up there, and it's pretty cool. There's lots of stuff to observe and all that jazz. So when you're projecting into outer space, you're in a real-time projection. So you're going to experience time like you do in the physical world. It's just going to be a 1-to-1 ratio. And you'll be pretty comfortable with it, other than the fact that you can travel several light years in like a second. That's going to be a bit different, and you're going to have to get used to that. When you first get into outer space, you might project several galaxies away from Earth and abort your projection. This is pretty normal. I'm sure this happens a lot. It's just because you're not used to traveling through the space part of the astral world. When your astral body gets out there, it's attracted to profound energy. And there's no profound energy in the space part. The only profound energy is typically stars and sometimes planets. Your awareness will mostly be on the stars because they're radiant. And you won't immediately bind to a star because they're very big. They're very intimidating. So you'll just continue zipping through space until you find something small, which will probably never happen when you first project. And that's how you get this vicious cycle of just rapidly moving through a great deal of space. When you get good at projecting, you can actually use this to your advantage. Just let yourself be intimidated by the objects around you, and also just propagate through space very quickly. And it's not something I can really put in words, but you'll basically be able to travel like galaxies away from Earth, or away from our own galaxy, in like a millisecond. So it's pretty cool. But yeah, when you first get out, focus on the moon and project right to the moon. The moon's pretty small. It's not intimidating. It doesn't have any intrinsic energy on it or anything like that. It's just dead physical energy. So when you jump to the surface of the moon, you can easily put your focus on something else, like the sun or wherever else you want to go. There's nothing on the moon that will distract you. So that's what I recommend doing. And once you get used to projecting through space and comparing different types of energies, because there's like intrinsic energy, then you have synthetic and natural physical energy, then you'll be able to propagate through large objects and not be intimidated by them. For instance, black holes and suns or stars, they're just physical energy in the astral world. That's what the energy in the astral world represents, as matter. There's nothing really special about them. It's not like Earth, where you have life force energy and all these entities around, and things that celestial beings have left behind in somewhere inside Earth. It's not like that. It's very simple out in space typically, and you'll be able to propagate through suns and black holes very efficiently when you understand this. Black holes are pretty intimidating the first like 10 times you go through them. They'll spit you out like way out in the middle of nowhere, because they have these spouts, just like how science usually describes them, where they tear up matter and spit it out the other end. It doesn't take you to any new dimension or anything like that. Also, you can try to find the edge of the universe. Basically, the further out in the universe you go, the simpler it gets, the simpler galaxy formations are, and the more spread out they are. I've gone as far and wide as I can out away from Earth in one direction, and I couldn't find anything other than just blank space with a few galaxies here and there, or pieces of matter really that are kind of, they're like about to form galaxies, like they're accumulating dust and stuff. It's not like an actual galaxy. There's nothing really out there really, and I don't think you can actually find any boundary of any sort. Okay, that's about all I can think of at the moment. I guess I can go into certain experiences that I've had. For instance, I came across a planet that was like Earth, but it was dying worse than Earth, at least. So it had 800 ppm carbon dioxide in its atmosphere, in the troposphere at least, and 8 ppm carbon monoxide in the troposphere. I just asked them what's wrong with their Earth and like why they are living off of oxygen tanks and stuff, and they're sitting in these oxygen rooms, like just like sealed off rooms and buildings. And somebody from the planet told me, I don't know who, it was some sort of gatekeeper for the planet, they told me that their Earth's dying and that they have all this material in their air, and they gave me these two values. And I didn't really know what ppms were at the time, and I didn't really know what a valid value was. And it appears to be pretty valid for an atmosphere that has messed up air, considering Earth's atmosphere is like 0.1, I believe, for carbon monoxide and 400 for carbon dioxide. So the values were pretty valid. I looked it up and I was like, okay, that makes sense. I've also come across technology from more advanced beings. Typically it's not going to make sense. It won't appear mechanical in nature. For instance, I came across a very large ship containing many alien entities. They were all dormant. They were in stasis, but the ship itself, it appeared to be green jello because I simply could not comprehend its composition. So a lot of times you'll come across technologies created by more advanced beings, and they simply won't be mechanical like our technology, and you won't be able to perceive it or make sense of it, and that's perfectly normal. One day I came across a planet. It was about the size of Jupiter, and it had life force on it. It had like trees and stuff. The trees were kind of odd, but they were familiar, and the only mechanical thing I found on the planet was a beacon, and it was just like pretty crazy. It was like how you would expect a beacon to be. It was about the size of a big old house or a mansion, and it was just beaming energy into space. And I didn't really go immerse myself in the energy because I didn't really know what it was, and I thought it would take me to some crazy aliens that would like follow me back to my body, but that never actually happens. It's just a weird thing that you think about when you come across different entities. They probably don't even detect you when you're propagating the astral world. So anyways, I was able to rotate or fly around this beacon about 10 times. It was the only really mechanical thing that I've seen that was really advanced, is extracting energy somehow from the center of the planet, or whatever you want to call it, and beaming it out elsewhere. Anyways, that's it for outer space. See you next video.